Hi guys, hi, how's it going? How you doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today I'm doing the next palette roulette, and in this series we review a palette that is in my collection that maybe is in your collection as well. It's not necessarily new, not necessarily old, just a palette that's in my collection that I want to get some use out of, try out, see what kind of experiences I have with said palette, and then I come back and I review them for you. I hope that sounds like it's something right up your alley, something that you're interested in. Today we're going to be going over some of the Nabla Cutie palettes, and yeah, I really hope you want to stick around. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna. So happy to have you here on our channel. I am a lover of all things high-end, colorful beauty and self-care, and I am also a lady of a certain age who's often told I shouldn't be wearing certain colors, certain things, glitter of all things, because I'm far too old. And I am here to tell you I'm going to be out here doing what suits my soul, encouraging you also to do what suits your soul. I am also going to be out here trying to give you some like inspiration, some product knowledge, some of the things that I get from my position in the beauty industry to help you learn more about makeup. I do hope that that sounds like something you want to be a part of, and that you hit the subscribe button before you leave. I do have a giveaway going on my channel right now. I will link that video up in the cards for you all so that you guys can go up there, watch that video, dot all the I's, cross all the T's, and be a part of that giveaway if you so choose. It's only going on for the next few days. Actually, today is Monday. I think it goes on through Wednesday, but it is typically a all month of September, every single year annual giveaway on my channel. So I do hope that you'll want to participate. With that said, let's roll into these palettes. We are going over some Nabla palettes that I brought into my collection, and prior to bringing these palettes into my collection, I did only have a couple products from Nabla, and those were the skin glazing highlights. And I have to be honest, those skin glazing highlights are fantastic. I love them so much, and I was really excited to see that Nabla came to Ulta Beauty #1 way back then when it did, because then I could get my, discount. Hello, who doesn't want a discount? And #2, they were going to be a little bit more accessible than what they had been to me in the past. And I know that Nabla had been on my list of brands to try for quite some time, and was so excited to pick up one of the skin glazing highlights. And then Nabla started coming out with these little tiny 6-pan palettes, these cutie palettes, and I was excited because they were small palettes that I could bring into my collection. Didn't really have to take up a whole lot of space, but I could get a good taste of what Nabla represented without having to spend, $36, $38, $40 on a larger palette from Nabla. So these are $24 eyeshadow palettes, and they just have 6 shades in each one of the palettes, and I think there are 8 different cutie palettes. I do have #3, which is the platinum palette, and #6, which is the midnight palette. This one just released, I think, within this last year. So these guys are 0.28 ounces of product in each one of them, and that means that each one of the pans of eyeshadow in these is 0.05 ounces, so you're getting full size eyeshadow pans in here. They also only cost like $24, you guys, so that's only $4 per shade, and that is amazing to me. That's an amazing price. That's cheaper than a ColourPop, and I have to be honest, like I'm not mad at these shadows. So I have a few things to say about each one of them, but first let's start with this. This one is the platinum palette, and this has a really nice gray and silver kind of motif going on the packaging. It does say Nabla up here, and then in this corner here it does have a #3. It also has like a PT, which I think is the like chemistry chart, that chemistry chart. I think that is, what is that called? The abbreviation for platinum. And it also has a little diamond right here. And then it says platinum on this side here. This is in a silver tone, and then on the back It just gives some information about the palette and what is included in this palette, and it does say cruelty-free, 100% vegan, and it says it has an 18-month shelf life. You open them up and it does have a really cute little mirror on it. It says Cutie palette right there, and this is the color story of the Platinum palette, which is all cool tone shades, and they are inspired by fragments of light and platinum with luminous and three-dimensional finishes in said color story. And then you get to the Midnight one, which is all blue. It's a beautiful, like, abstract art blue. And the little circles up here, it has a number 6 because it's the 6th Cutie palette in the series. It's got a moon for midnight, and then it's also got stars because it is inspired by the starry night sky, and then has also luminous and multi-dimensional finish shades in it. I think I was most excited about this one, but also this is the one that I liked the least. It also has a nice little mirror. It says Cutie palette on it as well. And I, again, most interested in this one because this fell right into what I deemed my love of color, right? Beautiful blues in here, really pretty, like, brown, like, metallic, but I didn't really even use that, if I'm honest. I did, like, swatch it, but that shadow did not get used. So these each have 6 shades in them. They do perform very, very well on top of a primer, but they also perform very, very well on top of just a bare skinned eye. Currently today, this is bare skin. I do not have a primer on my eyes at all. And this has been on my eyes for a few hours now. Like, it's sticking around. It's doing okay. I don't mind it. And I did use mostly the Midnight palette today. I did use just this one shade out of the Platinum palette. I would say that this one is a little bit harder to use. The only matte in here, even though this, like, light blue is slated as a matte, I think it performs more as a satin. So therefore the only matte in here is this dark blue. It's really hard to make an eye look with just that one matte, for me anyway. As somebody who is solidly just a user of shimmers, probably would not have a problem with this palette. However, with that said, the shimmers in this palette are beautiful. This is a beautiful, like, multi-dimensional purple, blue, like, teal. Oh, it is so, so pretty. And I don't even think if you guys can see it and that it's going to do it any kind of justice. But that is a gorgeous shade, and it is certainly a big, beautiful pop of color on your lid if you want to put it on your lid. It's kind of chunky, so I would suggest doing it over the top of a glitter glue. This one also is just such a beautiful, like, blue, just deep midnight blue. This is in my eye look today, but this one also performs very much like a satin instead of like a true shimmer, but it looks like it's going to be, like, super chunky in the pan, but it's definitely not. What I would say to that though also is it gets, that one specifically gets super, super patchy. I just think that its formulation is just a little bit too odd. Like, it's not a shimmer, but it's not a matte, and it's too chunky to be satin even, but also not a shimmer. I don't know. It's weird. My suggestion is definitely that one needs to be worn over a glitter glue as well. So those two shades definitely need to be worn over a glitter glue. This other one here, it is called Alma. So this one is called Quiet Storm, and this one is called Sapphire, and then this one in the middle is called Alma, and it is a beautiful white that shifts to a gorgeous, gorgeous blue, and it's not coming across in the screen. I can see that, but it's like this beautiful powdery, almost like starry night snow blue, if that makes any sense. It is beautiful. It is in my inner corner today, and I felt like it was a beautiful, like, center of the lid shade as well, just to give it a pop, or inner corner shade. This blue is beautiful. It is on my lid space as well. It's slated as a matte, but it's not really a matte. I feel like it's more of a satin It's very creamy and it blends out really, really well. And it does everything it can to be the perfect powder blue matte, but it's kind of satiny. And then this shadow here, which is called Blue Hour, this dark blue one here, is not a bad navy blue. That is such a dark blue though. And for the rest of this palette, like I just found myself when I dug into just this palette wanting something a little more light, like something in between these two colors to blend out. Like I think that they could have taken this shadow out of here entirely, just made this a complete blue palette, and it would have been more cohesive to pull an eye look from. Even if we went with like a medium toned purple to kind of like offset this, but like indigo but not purple but also not blue kind of mindset with that shade, I think that that would have been a much better shade than this. I didn't use this shade at all. I did swatch it, but I didn't use it at all because it was very similar to one of the shades in the Platinum palette, and I just didn't find any use for it. It's pretty. It's a gorgeous like brownie bronze shade, but not like anything I saw that I needed to have in an eye look when I was also partnering that palette with this one. And this shadow right here is, I think, the same shadow. Like they look the exact same. This one is called Priceless though, and this one is called Marseille. They look the exact same on an eye look. So I just didn't pull, or in a swatch. So I just didn't pull that one into an eye look because I had it and had already used it out of the Cutie palette. As far as, or as in the Platinum palette. As far as the Platinum palette goes, like I used this so much and was actually kind of surprised because I don't really tend to pull for cool tone eyeshadows. If you're not new, you know. So I just dug my fingernail into this one, but this is such a stunning shade. This is a stunning bright bold silver. This is a stunning pewter. This is that same color of like brown, and I'll swatch them next to each other so you can see them. And these two browns actually kind of surprised me because this one looks really dark for a medium brown, and this one looks like nearly black, and they were just the perfect combination of browns to have with all these other cool tone shadows. This dark brown here is near black in an eye look, and this brown here is actually in the eye look that I have today, and it is what I used often to make sure that I was blending out each one of my shadows, even the dark blue, which is what I've got going on today. I will say that this dark blue doesn't blend super easy, but the rest of the shadows in these two palettes do blend very well as far as the mattes go. As far as the shimmers go, like a lot of them are super chunky and aren't really blendable, and the ones in this palette have this like ring around them when you pat them onto your eye look of that deep dark like base shade that is in the palette, so, or behind the color, I guess. So I'm gonna swatch the Platinum Cutie palette for you really quick. This shade here is one of my favorites, and then next to that would be this shade here, and they are just so pretty and go on to an eye look and just do so much for an eye look. This one here is like this taupey rosy like perfection. It's so pretty, and it blends out of all of the shimmers in the palettes, it blends the easiest and makes the biggest impact to a one shadow eye look, in my opinion. And then you have the dark brown and then the medium brown in that palette. They're also very, very nice, but like I said, that dark brown looks nearly black in an eye look. So you have to be really careful with it too, like you are with blacks. This silver is insane. crazy sauce, right? Holy crap, it looks like metal. And I think they do call them like foiled metals or something like that. And then as far as that like bronzy shade goes, I'm gonna swatch it next to this bronzy shade and you guys tell me. I mean, one of them is a little pinker and one of them is a little more like mustardy, but in an eye look they look almost the exact same. So it's very odd to me sometimes still that even with like different base tones that colors can look the exact same on an eye look.
I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants today because I spent all day in the cell phone place getting new cell phones and didn't have any time to film this. I was literally there for almost 7 hours. So I usually spend a good portion of my day on Saturdays like researching and at least getting 1 or 2 videos done. I didn't get anything done yesterday.
I would say that the formulas on these are very nice. They're blendable and they make me want to try more from Nabla as far as the eyeshadow formulation goes. I could see myself picking up, you know, the Dreamy palette, or I think I maybe just got eyeshadow all over my back, but I can maybe see myself picking up the Dreamy palette or maybe even the side by side, but the side by side feels a little bit too neutral for me, but I definitely want to pick up more Cutie palettes. These were definitely better than, you know, many other 6-pan eyeshadow palettes that I have tried over the last several, you know, months. Fenty, I'm talking to you. But these shadows are stunning. They are beautiful. I could see them being useful in my collection. I could definitely see me picking them up more than just this one time, right? I think that they're beautiful. The longevity on them I didn't think was fantastic. Like when I think through the lens of fantastic wear time, I think ABH, and I think, you know, even Natasha Denona for me has an amazing wear time. I also think like Pat McGrath, even though like I'm not like a huge fan of Pat McGrath's mattes, they last forever. These shadows I found after being on my eyes for a good 6 hours, even with a glue or a primer, I could see significant fading in them, and for the shimmers I could see them actually kind of voiding on the eyes. So I would say that they don't have the best wear time, but I also think that it's decent wear time for the average makeup user, and I wouldn't like scoff at them. I do think that they're great shadows, and I do think that they're impactful shadows. They're shimmers. I mean, the silver, holy crap. Call me the Tin Man. That is such a beautiful, impactful shadow. It's the best silver I think I have in my entire collection. And this blue here, I know that you can't see it in the camera lens at the camera angle, and this shade here are actually like duochromy or maybe even multichromy. Like this one looks this beautiful teal blue in the camera, but to me, like dependent on which way it shifts, it's like beautiful lavender, dark blue, and then teal blue. It's just so pretty. And this one here is like the pastel version of that shadow. So it also shifts lavender, powder blue, you know, kind of silvery. I think that the dimensions in these eyeshadows are phenomenal. I think that the feel of them on your hands is really nice. They're not like grippy. They're not like, you know, sandpapery. Even the glitter shades are not, you don't feel that texture, and they don't exacerbate any texture either. I do know that I saw a significant amount of fallout with the navy blue in the Midnight palette, but it was easily wiped away, and fallout isn't a deal breaker for me. So if it is for you, you'll want to make sure that you know that. But other than that, like, I didn't mind these palettes. I thought that they were good. I thought that I was able to get, you know, quite a few eye looks out of them, and I kind of loved the other side of the coin where I didn't really have to do anything with my eyes to get a great eye look, because I could take, you know, that silver and pop it onto my lid and call it a day. I could take the brown and put it into my crease and call it a day, which I did do a couple of times, and you won't have pictures of that. I think I only have like maybe 3 eye look pictures from use of these palettes, and today being one of those days, because for the most part I use these as like one shadow eye looks and called it a day over the last week. So with that said, I am happy to have them in my collection. I'm glad to know what Nabla performs like, and I'm glad to have tried Nabla through the lens of these Cutie palettes. I think that they're great and makes me want to try more. So I'm gonna go pick a new palette and I will be right back. Alrighty guys, I think I want some color in my life this week. I will be doing SM onboarding, so I will be mostly virtual all dang week, and I feel like that's gonna give me a little bit of extra time in the morning to actually get creative with my eye looks and come up with some stuff, but I need some color. I want some color to be able to do that. And I also like getting on this onboarding with a creative mindset behind it, like really digging into that creative side of me, like playing a game or, you know, wearing crazy hair so that so it's memorable for them. Nobody knows misery like those of us that have to sit on a virtual training for 8 hours on Teams. So there's that. I am going to work with the cake palette this week. This is Glamlight cake palette, and I think this is the first time I will have used any of the multiple Glamlight palettes that I purchased earlier this year. And you guys, I'm just really excited about this palette. So this is what it looks like, and this is what the color story looks like, and that looks like it's definitely right up my alley. I'm super excited to try it. I've heard that Glamlight shadows are phenomenal, so can't wait to try it, and can't wait to come back to you guys next week and talk about this palette. So if you have tried Nabla or Glamlight, please let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. I would love to hear from you guys. But with that said, you guys, this is it. This is all I have for you today. I hope this fly by the seat of my pants palette roulette wasn't disappointing. I hope I got everything that I would normally get into a palette roulette without notes. With notes into this one without notes. I hope it wasn't boring for you. With that said, thank you guys so much for joining me today. I do hope that you are having a wonderful 2021. It's almost over, can you believe it? And that your September, that is definitely almost over, was amazing. And yeah, I just hope that you and yours are well out there. I hope that you guys are getting along in this crazy world that we've got going on right now as best you can, that you're healthy, that you're good, and that you all are loving each other, but loving each other from afar. And until next time, bye friends.